1 hour or so. Um, so tiredness might play a factor for one or the other, but we'll see. Starting out with good old intermediate, something that, easy to track, but not too breakneck speed.
Looking really even at the start here.
Both players following almost the exact same lines, then going bottom right at the end. Szymon with a slight lead.
About 2 seconds.
And this match is really neck and neck.
Ooh,
Wow, down to the second. And this board just open top right to bottom left. Everything's open. A little bit of fun no guess logic on the top right there, because there can't be a 50-50.
wow. Still almost exactly tied going into the fourth board here. You see some divergence in their pathing on this one.
Yeah, this one, Trckui decided to go bottom right first while Szymon finished the other side of the board.
Looks like Szymon's path might have been a little bit better.
Indeed, yeah, he takes it down.
He was confident going into this, and so he was up
Oh,
about 2 seconds. Now
pretty
he's down
pretty
about
early
four.
blast. That shouldn't cost him too much, but in a game of inches like this, it might bite him in the end.
Yeah, only one board after this to make up 4 seconds. Trckui starting his last board, and Simon is 3 seconds behind.
All
They're playing
right.
different boards though, so
They are, yeah, after the blast, so no screen peeking available here.
Trckui. Ooh, I thought Trckui had it, but it's gonna be close.
Wow. This is down to the
Down
wire.
to
No!
oh,
Shimon. I think Truckee might have finished first anyway, but it really would have been down to the last click. Great first round for this match.
Schmunt was going into that with confidence. He looked really strong. Let's see if that shook him at all, though.
Not quite sure what to pick right off the bat. Interesting.
Yeah, on my screen it's showing Swanky Tiger as a play versus someone instead of Chucky. And
Luckily, I think that's just visual.
yeah, well, I mean, you would know if you were playing, right?
I would. And it's not a match I think I would win.
Also, probably Chucky probably would have said something if he was actually not playing. So
All right, we're running back at normal intermediate. Not shaken by the loss at all. Thinks he can take it down in round two here.
Confidence is something that, I think is key here, so running it back might be the best strat for him personally. Rocky taking a sec for a breather.
I want to see if popping out of the lobby and back in again fixes the. No. That is weird.
Now it's me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I left and rejoined too. Oh,
Oh, there we go.
there we go. Okay. No more bugs. And we're off. Pretty small start here, but opens up pretty quickly.
Looking pretty even. Trckui maybe a bit behind here. No, maybe ahead.
Wow, okay. Trckui just barely ahead on that one.
Very close match, yeah. Less than a
Very
second between them.
close. Pretty interesting board generation here. I feel like I see a lot bigger openings than I would on other platforms, no guess games. I think the 3BV is going to be a bit lower on average than something like medium no guess.
Still only about a second separating these two.
I have a case here of someone ignoring the meta logic here on the top left. You go left to the 3, you know it's safe. Could have done that right away and he didn't.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That no guess strat. Quick blast for Szymon. That might just be, wanting to get away from that board, but it also might just be a mistake.
He had a bit of a rough time on the board before that, finishing it out, so might have been trying to play a little too fast. He's down about half a board here, about 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Which,
Ooh,
oh no. And the tables have turned.
this looks like a decent board, though.
It's a very good board that Szymon just rolled into, yes. Getting a big open middle and just having to worry about the edges.
Trcky's
Something
going to
that,
have about a 13-second lead on this last board here.
oh man. I think if Trckui just stays cool, then this should be his for the taking. And that's the cleanup for Trckui.
Will we see Int get picked again? Simon or Szymon didn't seem very excited about any of the other modes, so we'll see.
He probably needs to mix it up a bit because, at the end of the day, Trckui has just been winning on this board type.
Semi beginner, expert,
All right,
expert.
there we go. Exactly what I would have done. Just trying to mix up the game a bit.
And if the expert does work out for him, he's probably going to have to run back Int again if that's what Trckui counterpicks. So
Yep. Trckui having
Ooh.
the last two counter picks in the case that he doesn't win is a huge advantage for him.
I think if I'm Trckui, if I lose this one, I'd probably go for Int no fire because I think Trckui has decent no flags and I'm not sure about Szymon.
I do think he has a slight no flag advantage. Yeah.
Taking a bit of time to cool down, perhaps.
Yeah, after my sets, I always felt like I wanted about 2 minutes just to breathe.
Right. Yeah, I would go and, actually just take a jog, just around the room, maybe even up and down the stairs.
Players neck and neck yet again.
Yeah, both of them taking roughly the same path here.
Szymon
Though,
choosing not
actually,
to clean up the right side.
yeah, Trckui ends up going down to the bottom a bit before following the same path Szymon started with. Nothing super tricky yet. Just clearing out a few side spaces.
Both players using a lot of flags here.
Yep, I think the goal here is just to be consistent, and Szymon ends up making the first mistake.
He knew it was a gamble.
Will
All right.
Trckui try to capitalize on this and just, ride out a clean victory? Trckui does take down his first game. Match point on the line. Trckui with all the flags, playing very intentionally.
I think at this point, if you're Trckui, you can kind of afford to flag everything and play for the contingency of like maybe there's a mine count. Like that'd be
Yeah.
the only way you kind of lose this fight is if you blast a board to have an account and you don't do it right or you don't bother and you guess and it's wrong. So it makes sense to
And then
just
completing his first
be
board.
safe.
So if Trckui did... Oh, never mind. Trckui takes it down and moves on to the
Yeah.
next round.
3-0. Although it was, I think especially